Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of my trek across the U.S. virtually for independent hand-dyed yarns in independent small yarn shops where I'm trying to purchase mini skeins, but I'm purchasing some yarn that I can't find in a big box type store. As I purchase this yarn, I'm crocheting individual granny squares using all of the yarn that I buy, and I'm going to, at the very end, put this into a fantastic, huge blanket. Now, if I have way more squares than what I need to make a blanket, I'm going to use those extra squares probably for throw pillows or some other coordinating piece for that blanket. But all of these squares are going into one big project. So today we are going to Loveland, Colorado, where I found a fantastic little shop called Loco. So let's take a look at what Loco out of Loveland, Colorado has in their shop. Loco out of Colorado. Their website is super easy to navigate. They've got tons of different styles of yarn, different collections of yarn. Some really nice sock sets as well, where they pair up sort of a variegated yarn with solid color yarn. You can make some really cool socks out of those. Looks like they've got the Phyllis sock yarn and the merino sock as your base. Let's take a look at some of these speckled yarns. Look at all of those amazing colors. I want one of each, please. We've got the Sweet Tooth collection, and these are very bright, vibrant colors based, of course, on sweet stuff. We've got patterns and projects. If you're interested in any of those are kind of neat. They're all sort of granny-based projects. Let's take a look at the semi-solids. We've got a whole bunch of different colors ranging all the way through the rainbow. Really pretty. Would pair up really nicely with any of those kind of speckled, variegated type yarns. We've got a lot of sets here. I just love all those colors together. The Backyard Chickens collection. This I thought was so interesting. What a unique concept. And the colorways that are here are they're just amazing. This is one of my favorites. What a really neat, cool idea. We're going to check out some of the minis, and these are what I am looking for as I shop in these independent and small business shops. So I'm always on the lookout for a shop that has minis available, and this one had plenty of minis. A lot of these minis you can also buy as a full skein if you're interested in making a much larger project just using one colorway. So that's Loco out of Loveland, Colorado. And let's see what I bought from them. I just love all of those yarns. Every single yarn that I saw on that website, I could have bought. However, we had to stick within a little bit of a budget. And I also just want to kind of get a little taste out of each of these stores and independent yarn dyers that I'm buying from. And maybe in the future, I'll go back and buy more from each one of these and do different projects. But for now, we just need a little bit of a taste of what this yarn is like. So here's the package. Let's get into it. we have yarn. Look at all that yarn. So I've got 6 skeins here, and I think they have an option to cake it up. Obviously, I didn't see that as I was buying it, and they came in these hanks, which is fine because I do like to see them in these hanks as well before they're caked up. And I can cake them up myself, just takes a little longer. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's see which colors I got. So those are the different colors that I got. We've got the Strike It Rich, Fleur de Lis, Ohana, Mimosa, Her Kink is Lava, Wild Orchard. And I had to do a kind of a split between the merino sock and the Phyllis sock because not all of them had the same. And so I just kind of mixed them up. It's basically the same size yarn or weight yarn. All right, so let's take a look. This one is a Phyllis sock and this one is the Mimosa. So it's got some nice kind of coral colors in with, we've got greens, pinks, off-white. There's a neon down there. We've got some neon pink over here. So I just thought this one was so fun and just bright, and I'm really excited to see what it looks like in a granny square. So this one is Mimosa, and it is the Phyllis sock yarn. I'm going to do all of the Phyllis sock yarns first. Here is the next one, and this one is Fleur de Lis. So we've got some purples, and there's a little bit of brown in there. Maybe some, oh, I don't know, maybe magenta, grays. Very pretty. Very different from the Mimosa in a way, and yet similar. All right, the last one in the Phyllis sock is Wild Orchard. I love this. Look at that bright, like burgundy in with the gold. And it's even got some lighter colors up here. So like a pink almost, but very muted. Super pretty. So here are the Phyllis sock weight yarns. Now let's look at the merino sock yarn. So this one is a merino sock yarn, 80 yards, and actually, let's just check, I didn't even look. So the Phyllis sock has 90 yards. This one has 80 yards, and the colorway is Strike It Rich. So you can see it's a little bit of a different weight or feel on the yarn. So if I hold it up to the merino sock, just a little bit different, but it won't matter for my purposes at all. So there we go with that color. We've got some nice golds and oranges and reds, some yellows in there. Almost like a neon green down here. All right, Strike It Rich. Next up, Her Kink is Lava. I could not resist this one because it was so bright. There are pinks and reds and purples and blacks. Look at all of those colors. Absolutely just so pretty. So we've got Her Kink is Lava, and this one is 80 yards. And finally, Ohana. I couldn't resist this one either because I love blues, and this has some really pretty blues, and there's some pink in there, green, kind of a neon green over here. And again, we've got some yellows, oranges mixed in there. It definitely reminds me of maybe what I would think of when I think of Hawaii. So there we go, 80 yards, Ohana. Here are all of the merino sock yarns. And the rest of them, all of the Phyllis sock yarns. So I've got quite a variety here, which I absolutely love. I cannot wait to start working these up. If you're interested in anything that you saw today, or you just want to check them out, loco.com, and I'll put the link down below as well. Check them out. They have some really fun, unique yarns. I really thought those chicken collection yarns were super interesting. I could think of so many different things that I'd want to crochet with this yarn. But since this is my first time using some really more unique, not necessarily high-end yarns, but definitely a different type yarn that I'm used to, which is just basically your standard 4-weight acrylic yarn, which, don't get me wrong, I love that yarn, but I feel like I can kind of make mistakes and play around with that 4-weight acrylic yarn, whereas something like this, if I'm going to make something, I really want it to be something that I know how to make, and I'm not having to rip it out and frog it and trial and error some pattern, which is why I chose to make granny squares out of these yarns, because it's an easy pattern. I know it by heart. I can work it up really quickly, and you get kind of an instant gratification from making each little granny square. So I'm going to start caking these up today, start working on them, and hopefully pretty soon we'll start seeing what the granny squares look like. That's all that I have today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.